Is your refrigerator running? Why, yes. Yes, it is. Oh, you better go catch it! Welcome to Dirt, Sweat, and Gears, the House of Endless Wallpaper. We are here in the second of the two bedrooms in my rental house, and it is time to address the elephant in the room, that being these two windows and this door. I have already stripped down the walls, removed all the nails, patched the holes. I have the ceiling ready for primer and ceiling paint. I have also finished up the closet. I still need to remove that hook on the door and fill it. This is kind of ready for paint. However, I need to get to work on these windows and doors because this room isn't going to be finished unless this is all closed up until the big window is in. I have moved the big window outside and we're ready to get to work here. As you can see, this window is actually going to be pretty easy to demo. I just need to remove these little strips of wood on either side and cut the wire on the sash, and these panes will just pop right out. Not really a big deal. This one especially is not a big deal because all I've really got to do is remove the window and patch the hole on both sides. I'm not going to replace it with anything. I'm not going to do any demolition beyond what I need to do. So it's really, I probably have to remove the window frame so that I can get the stucco all the way out to where it needs to be. But other than that, this is going to be a really straightforward project. I'm going to start here. Over here is where it gets a lot more complicated. The window and the door both have to come out, and then I need to do framing for the window that is going to go probably in the middle of the wall. I am most likely going to wait for my contractor to do the framing work, but I can do the demolition myself, or at least a good part of it. So I'm going to strip out all the trim, remove the window, remove the drywall between these two, the window and the door, remove all the window trim, and really just kind of get this thing as far along as I can without having to do any framing. And we'll deal with that when my contractor gets back in 2 weeks. Quick little update. I've got the ceiling primered. And I'll probably throw some paint up here at some point today. And I have removed one of the windows. One of the things I learned is that these original windows were all double hung. I did not know that because both on my house and on this house, they've been painted shut for years. But I did learn that. It was very interesting, but ultimately not useful information for me. So here's what I've got. I've got a big hole in the wall. The old frame is completely removed, and I have to frame this up, put new paper on it, and stucco it. So let's go take a look outside. And over here, I do not have a whole lot to work with here. So I'm probably going to have to take the stucco back to at least about here, enough that I can tuck new paper in underneath this so that I can keep the layering waterproofed. And I need to just kind of remove a couple inches, 1.5 inches, 2 inches back all the way around so that I can do that. And here it's not as bad, except I made a small hole when I was removing the frame. There's a small hole here. So I'm going to have to be very careful to put paper over it and over that hole. So I need to bring this down to probably another good 2-3 inches. So I have a lot of hammering to do, which I'm tired. So I'm going to take a break and come back to this. Is your refrigerator running? Why, yes. Yes, it is. Oh, you better go catch it! Now that that's out of the way, I've got a nice 6-pack of Bell's Brewing American IPA chilling in my running refrigerator. What? Isn't that supposed to? Yes, it is. Okay. This is supposed to hook in here and close behind the other door. Seems like it doesn't want to. And I think the door needs to be moved up a little bit. Yes, it definitely does. Look at that seal. Okay, so that's something to fix. The fridge is sealing well enough. I just have to adjust the door. So if I can bring this door up, shouldn't be much of a problem. Anyway, let's move on. I have vacuumed all of the dust from the kitchen so that it a little bit more livable in here. You know, if you don't mind not having a sink or countertops or gas. Today, I spent most of the day cleaning and painting. I painted this room, which, hey, look at that handsome guy in there. You can actually see him. That's pretty cool. And so we're in here. I don't yet have a light fixture. It was pissing me off, so I decided not to do it. I'll circle back to that. But I got the ceiling painted, I got the walls painted, and not the doors or the trim. I'm probably going to do that. I don't know. I might do that next. I cleaned up in here. There's a big trash pile there. That's gone. I'm going to be pulling up all of the paper up until there, pretty much that line right there, so that we can walk through the house. I'm also going to remove the paper in the hallway tomorrow, or once my electrician's done in here, so that we can kind of like, I don't know, pretend like we're living in here for a couple of days, just while my brother's here. And then in the kitchen, I spent the day, I first spent the day touching up the holes that I had made. You can see a little bit of evidence of touch up in there. But I made a pretty dumb mistake. I don't want to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it. When I bought the paint, the first 3 gallons of paint that I used in this room, in that room over there, I bought matte colored paint. So this is nice and matte. As you can see, I have to do a little bit of touch up there. So I'm going to have to get another bucket. And then when I ran out of paint, I went to buy more paint. I bought satin. So that means when I went to touch up this already painted wall, I ended up with a bunch of lines of satin against flat wall. So the decision I had to make was I either throw out 3 gallons of satin paint, or I just roll out this kitchen all over again. And I missed that corner up there. God damn it. I'll get that corner later on. Not a big deal. So I rolled out the entire kitchen, spent most of the day painting, which I did not plan or want to do, and obviously the money wasted on a 2nd gallon of paint. But it looks nice and it is satin. There's nothing wrong with satin. In fact, if you're moving from one room to another, you don't notice, you don't care, not a big deal. Like, does anybody really care? We're gonna get some more light in here. Yeah, you can see just a little bit of a sheen if you look really close. And then you come in here and it all looks the same. By the way, this floor, oh, it's just so good. It smells nice and fresh in here too because I use the orange scented oil. Yeah, I like this room quite a lot. But I digress. If you're moving from one room to another, it's not a big deal. But when you are in the same room and you see it juxtaposed, as you can see up there, you see that satin right there, and then there's a paint mark, and then there's blip because I was supposed to hit that with a roller and I forgot. That's where it becomes really noticeable and really ugly. So I had to go back and fix that. Here's another thing that we did. Thanks to my electrician Lou for helping modify yet again all of these ceiling fans, this time to fit the remote box. So now we press this little button. Actually, I'm going to pull it out here. Press this button. Boom! Yeah. And then I can start the fan up. And I have balanced this fan out just about perfectly. So this is going to be on its fastest setting. You see it wiggling just a little bit. But, you know, nothing out of control. It's not going to fall. This is totally normal for a well-balanced fan. This is great. But I'm going to shut it off because it's throwing dust around. Put that back here, and there's a nice little mount for it. Let's take a look at the other ceiling fan because we're going to do all remotes in all of the ceiling fans. So this ceiling fan is hot wired. So the light switch that is here is only going to control the closet. So I'm going to shut this off so that it's not on. So we have the remote. And I'm not stepping in this because I don't want to track dust in. So here, we're going to press the button again. So you can turn it on, and then you can start the fan. And we're going to go ahead and put it on its highest setting. It moves plenty of air for this little room. Even though it's a smaller unit, it still performs just fine and it looks great. I'm really happy with this. Let's shut that off, put this away. And I've got this room closed off because if someone's going to be living in here for a few days, they're not going to want to experience this room really at all. So today I have continued patching. This is going to be, I don't know, probably 2-3 more rounds of patching. I'm going to have to sand it and then do another round. I did the same over here. This is about ready to go. This is about ready to sand and prepare for paint. And then in here, this hole, oh, I need to do another round on it because it started cracking. Okay, that's good to know. All right, is that out of focus? Yes, it is. There you go. And in here, in the closet, we've got some cracking on my previous patch job. So I'm just gonna go over it one more time and then it should be good to go. My, oh my, do I have an update for you. I have done something pretty crazy over the last couple of days and, well, it's done and there's really no going back. You see that there? That's a register for central air. I had central AC installed in this house. I was initially going to go with a mini split system, but seeing how nice this house was turning out as I was doing the work, especially back here in this kitchen, I decided that it was time to just pull the trigger and make it happen. And it was a little bit of I gotta say, it was a little bit of like a close your eyes and rip the Band-Aid off kind of moment because central AC was not cheap, especially in California. This essentially doubled the amount of money that I have spent on this house. I spent about what this central air system costs total on this entire project. So I have pretty much doubled what I put into this house. The benefits, obviously, is that this is a much nicer house. It's going to command a higher rent price, but also it's going to raise the property value by quite a bit. So let's go take a look at this system, and let's take a look at some of the other things. There's some other things behind me that that are worth seeing. Out here, my electrician has been doing a little bit more work, tidying that up. He's got all of this conduits pretty much good to go. And look at our box. Our box is full now. This is a good thing. Fortunate that I had enough space for all of these circuits that I needed. And here's the unit. That's the condenser, that's the shutoff switch, that's the piping up into the attic. And that's a big hole in the wall. So I removed this window and I'm going to cover up this hole because we really don't need a view to my house. So I went ahead and papered it up. I actually bought a new tool for chipping back the stucco. I had to remove up to a couple inches so that I could tuck the new paper underneath the old paper. And I got this Milwaukee kick-ass rotohammer for that job. I'm going to set this down. And so there's a YouTube video that I found really helpful for removing stucco with a rotohammer, and I'm going to go ahead and link it. He'll talk about most of the technique, and I mostly followed his technique, but my paper was a lot more brittle than his. This paper, you pretty much look at it the wrong way and it will puncture a hole. So I had to modify the technique a little bit. What I ended up doing was just establishing a break line, just going tap, tap, tap with the rotohammer all the way up to establish a break line, and then I would come at it from the side so that as I was breaking the stucco, and I was doing just tiny little bits at a time, so that as I was breaking the stucco, I wasn't putting pressure on the paper. So you can see here, this is where I started, and obviously there's no paper here because I kept poking holes in it, and I had to open it up a little bit more. And once I got the technique down, I ran all the way around the window, and it was still kind of a pain in the ass. You know, the nails are pretty close to the edge of the original paper, so I couldn't get a whole lot of overlap, but I think I got enough, and for the rest of it, I'm just going to silicone the hell out of it, and I think I'm going to be in good shape. So now that this is on, I mean, this is like several layers of paper that I was putting little sections at a time to make my life a little bit easier. Another thing that I was fighting with was the wood itself. The splinters and the grain were fighting against getting the paper in, especially up in the corners. So I would get a section of paper and just slip it in underneath wherever it would fit, and that just made my life easier for getting up in these corners. And now that that's all done, I just have to get more of this diamond wire, run it across, and then I'll be ready to stucco. In the laundry closet, we're pretty much ready to start working in here, but I really just want my electrician to be completely done and not have to go into the attic again. There's still some things he needs to do in here. Well, let's poke our heads up into the attic here. There's some fun stuff going on. So first up, there's all the air conditioning system, all the ducting, and there's the heater vent, which I do not yet have a pipe for. Kind of sucks. We had to cut this. This was the vent for the sink, but that's not a big deal. I just got to get a coupler and reconnect that. That's not being used. We might be able to use that for the heater vent light, or maybe not. I'm not sure. I might have to cut up, or there's a hole right there that we should be able to use. Coming back down into the house, I have got light bulbs for the whole house, and these lights, I got 75 watt equivalent LED bulbs, And they're a nice warm light, and they are just perfect at night. And this one we've already seen before. And since my brother's staying for the weekend, I put a few things in the fridge for him. Just essentials, you know, beer. In the living room here, I put up the wall sconces, and they look really nice. So you flip on the switch, and let's say you could like put a piece of art there if you wanted. You could point it down if you had like a little desk here. Same with that light over there. You can turn it if you had like a couch right there. It could be a nice reading light for whatever you want to do. And again, this room has 2 registers, so it'll cool off really nicely. I painted this room, this little hallway here, and of course, the HVAC guys scarred the wall, so I gotta touch that up. I also gotta straighten out that light fixture. But that's where the intake is, and it came out pretty nice. This room came out really nice. They actually did not screw up anything in this room, so this register is in. It's just fine, and I've blown up the air mattress for my brother, and there's a nice little cardboard in the window for, well, privacy, I guess. Still don't want to touch this. I'm still avoiding this as much as possible. And so with the huge expense of this air conditioning unit, I really do have to try to get across the finish line, saving as much money as I can. I know between my contractor and the landscaper, I do have a couple of big ticket items coming up, but I think I'm going to make it through. And once I make it through, I am pretty confident that I'm going to get a quality renter in here. I think someone is going to love this house, because I certainly love it. Let's take a look at where we're at. This register needs a little bit of touch up on the ceiling paint, and that's because he cut the hole too big. I've also got a hole down here that I'm in the process of patching. I think I need to do one more skim coat, and then I'll be able to repaint that. I did get flat mesa paint for this wall, so it won't be a big deal. And also I'll be able to paint this room with the flat paint to match. This room, the ceiling is done, ready to install the fan. But I do need to prime the walls, so I'm probably going to do that this morning. I'm going to prime all but that wall. I'm not going to worry about that wall until I have the new window in. So I'm just going to do all the way around here. I could also paint the doors. I don't know if I'm going to do that just yet, or if I'm going to just paint all of the white at one time. Over here in the laundry closet, I have prepared the walls. They are ready for a primer, and then I'll be painting them as well as the ceiling. This wood trim, I think I'm going to keep it wood. I think I'm going to stain it to match the cabinets. I also need to cut a insert for the attic access. And I need to reconnect that pipe. I have the coupler, but the pipe, I need to trim it just a little bit so that I can get both sides of the pipe into the coupler. In terms of the built-ins that I wanted to do here, I'm not sure if I can wait on my friend Steve, just because he has a schedule and I have a schedule, and it seems like those schedules may not be compatible. So we'll see. I may need to knock this out myself, just because I know I'll be able to get it done in my time. Aside from that, this is ready to go. I did order a washer and dryer set for my house, and this house will be getting my set that is currently in my house. That way, I know everything works, and I also know I won't get scammed, because I scammed myself. One last thing, I did have the gas service turned on, but I don't know if they opened up the line. So let's take a look-see. No, they did not. So I guess I need to call the gas company today to have that turned on. My electrician owes me some outlets. He's very well aware of that, but I am paying him today anyway. That is also a lot of money. Guess what? When you have to rip out the entire electrical system of a house and install a brand new electrical system with all new wires, that's expensive. There's no getting around it. Oh, and there's a little hole up there. What the hell? What is that all about? I guess I get to patch that too. All right, so let's get back to work. I need to knock this stuff out because it is actually Thursday morning, and I have a day job to do. So right now, this morning, I'm just gonna get the things that need time to dry out of the way so that when I come back in the afternoon after I'm done working a full day, everything will be dry and ready for the next stage. Hey, I finally got some car content for you. So one of the amazing perks of living in an active construction site is that you get free nails in your tire. Thankfully, this one is one of my nails, which means I didn't drive for like 20 miles on this tire with it being flat. So this can be patched. I just got to take it down to the shop, and there is plenty of tread. I mean, plenty for an RE71R. I mean, this is like 75% tread. If it were a normal tire, it'd be time to replace it, but that's how these tires roll. So anyway, yeah, a little bit of car content. I just have to get that done and I can put my car back on the road. The Prelude is getting along. It's still my most reliable vehicle and my most fuel efficient vehicle. My Jeep gets abysmal gas mileage, so if I'm going anywhere like up to my friends for Star Trek night on Sundays, I try to take the Prelude or ride my electric motorcycle. Tomorrow I will be riding my electric motorcycle to some appointments that I have. But Saturday, I'm going to be taking care of this so that I can go everywhere I need to this weekend. And while we're here, let's take a look at my appliance emporium. As you can see, I've gained quite a bit more stuff. This is, let's not talk about that. Yeah, it's some sad stuff. But anyway, this is the No Name brand fridge. As you can see, I still have to clean the top, but the freezer came up pretty nice. It doesn't smell bad anymore either. You can't smell it, but trust me, take my word for it, it doesn't smell bad anymore. It just smells like bleach. The same with the refrigerator. I just finished this up today, and it actually looks pretty presentable. And on the sides, this side's looking really good. This side had a lot more work to be done. There's still just a few spots I'd like to clean up tomorrow, but man, are my arms tired. I have to go back inside and paint, so I don't want to wear myself out too much. And the back is the back, you know, you just want to sweep it off and get all the major dust off of it. And then I can do a little detail work like clean up this handle and stuff like that. And then once this is done, I'm going to put it up for sale on Craigslist and see if I can get rid of it. Same with all of these things. After I do this one, I'm probably going to move on to this stove because it is now the most disgusting piece of hardware in this garage. So I'll be cleaning that next and hopefully get that up for sale pretty soon too. I'm pretty much just going to list all of these for sale as I get them done. So hopefully I don't have them around too long. Hopefully someone wants this stuff and it's out of my life quickly and profitably. Well, there you have it. This is quite a huge update, but it's also been 2 weeks. I did not post a video last week, and a lot has happened. I have spent a lot of money, like a lot of money, way more than I had budgeted for, but I also saved a lot of money by doing a lot of work myself. So I guess it all evens out. And by the way, my house is worth more. And when you make one property worth more, you make the neighbor's property worth more. So I actually really got a good bang for my buck here. As challenging as this all is, it is all worth it. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next week.